Look, the Dun & Bradstreet survey shows that consumers are continuing to be very cautious. They're reluctant to spend money on so-called non-essential items. About a third of the survey respondents said that they're keen to increase their savings, and a little over a third actually said that they're reluctant to use their credit cards. So as we're getting into the Christmas period now, where normally we see a big pickup in consumer spending, consumers are being very cautious.
Well, why this lack of confidence, do you think?
Yeah, look, the fundamentals behind consumer spending are actually quite good. We've had interest rate cuts over the last 6 months or so. We've had quite decent jobs numbers coming through. Unemployment's still relatively low. I think the link is due to sort of a confidence issue. We're hearing negative news coming out of the global economy. The Eurozone crisis has been hurting very clearly and hurting sentiment and therefore expectations. We've also had the position where the housing market, normally a nice driver of consumer optimism, has actually been quite weak for about 18 months or so. House prices have been drifting lower. There was the odd month where they've picked up, but basically prices are lower now than they were 18 months ago. And I think that's impacting negatively on consumer sentiment as well. So they're getting into this period where they're just being very cautious, not wanting to spend too much and wanting to boost their savings.
This must be really disappointing for retailers, because your other research showed that they were hoping for a bumper Christmas.
Yes, the other survey of retailers was extremely optimistic. They were really banking on a big pickup in consumer spending and retail spending in this period. So this survey does dampen that somewhat. So again, it's like the other analysis of the economy that we're seeing at the moment. It's this multi-speed economy. While there's areas of optimism, there's areas of pessimism at the same time. So we're trying to distill where the economy is going. And of course, this sort of information feeds into the Reserve Bank and their assessment on where interest rates are going to be going.
And the banks would be pretty happy with the sentiment that people are really keen on increasing their savings.
Oh, yeah, look, that's been happening for a while now, that since the global financial crisis hit the world and hit Australia a few years ago, consumers have boosted their savings. And in fact, quite remarkably, we consumers are saving around about 10% of our take-home pay now. That's extremely high compared with where we were 5 and 10 and 15 years ago. That we're using these relatively good economic times to replenish our savings, to reduce our debt levels, and we've certainly been seeing that in the household debt numbers, and that in a sense it's actually a restructuring of the economy, if you like. That borrowing binge, that house bubble binge that we saw 5 years ago isn't around anymore, and I think these consumer credit numbers just confirm that.
Stephen Koukoulas, thanks very much for your time on Newsday.
Absolute pleasure, thank you.